In this AMA video, I'm going to give you a more detailed look of Calendly. Now, previously I have done an AMA video just showing you the basics, and I did promise at that point that I was going to come back and do a more detailed one. And it just so happens that somebody this week was asking me about it, so I thought, great time to come on and answer their questions and do the more detailed video. So the first thing about Calendly, it is an email booking system. So let me just go through the kind of plans. So I use the professional plan. So the things, I'm going to show you the back end of my Calendly and how to set it up. So the things that I can do in mine is under the professional program. But I will show you the big differences between these different ones so that then you can choose whichever one is better for you. So they do have a free plan, a basic plan. I think the main difference here is you can only set up one calendar, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It does access to Microsoft Office or Google or Outlook or iCloud calendars. So you need to connect Calendly to whatever calendar you use. So what it does is when people schedule, it checks in your calendar to see if that time's free and then puts them in your calendar for you. I think the biggest thing with the basic one is you can only have one event type, and that's really restrictive. So that's one of the big things about the free version. So if you've got more than one event type, so you've got an initial call and then you've got your program or something like that, then you need to have a look at the ones that are the paid versions, because it won't let you do that. You're only allowed one event type. Some of the other bigger things is just looking down here in terms of what's available. The follow-ups and the reminders are also not available on free, and I think that's a big one. So people can book in with you, but if you want them to have reminders, then again you need to look at one of the paid options. So that's in there. I think the other big thing is around integration with Stripe and PayPal. So if you want payments to be taken through your Calendly, then you will need to at least have a look at the professional one in order to be able to do that. So and things like Google Analytics, Facebook Pixels, those sorts of SEO stuff are all in the professional one. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of what you might choose in terms of the plan that's right for you. So let's have a look at the back end then. So this is Calendly, and what I have done is I've set up a few different ones. They're different colours. So the green ones are all to do with Refresh Minds and the Mindset business, and the purple ones are all Build It Brilliant ones, so that I can very easily see which of these are related to which of my businesses, which is quite useful. I'll show you how to set up an event. So we're going to go new event type, and then this will give you all of the different options so that you can see what you can do. So on mine, you can either set it up as a one-to-one meeting or you set it up as a group, which is quite useful because then the link goes out to more than one person, and you can set how many people can book that link. So that's quite useful. But we're going to do one-to-one for this one. Okay. I have to keep moving my head, aren't I? So in here, you will give the event a name. So I'm just going to call this test. And location, you have an option here whether you want a Zoom meeting or a Microsoft Teams meeting or an in-person meeting, and you can add more than one. I'm not sure whether that is because I'm on a paid plan, but if I add Zoom, I can then add also a one-to-one, which lets people then choose whichever one is best for them, which I think is quite cool. You then have a description, so we'll put in some text there about telling people a little bit about what it is that they are booking with you. So you might want to put something like, book a free one-to-one with me. And then at the bottom here, we can choose the colours. So seeing as this is a Build It Brilliant one, we'll keep it in the purple. The next thing that we're going to do is set up the availability. So when can people actually book this event? So you've got a few options. You can do it within a date range. So if there's a certain sign-up date, then you can put that in. You could put it indefinitely, or you could do it for a certain number of days. So we'll do it indefinitely. The duration, how long will the meeting be? Let's do an hour. And then I have an existing schedule set up, which is my Build It Brilliant hours, but you can set custom hours if you want. So if I use the existing schedule, it will then give me those sorts of bib days. There we go. So these are the bib days that I do, which then allows me to, I don't have to put this in every time. If you want to set custom hours, you can do that. You can go into the calendar here and you can set certain hours on certain days. So if you wanted to say, you know, on Tuesday they could book a 1 till 2 and a 2 till 3, then you can literally edit the days, edit all Mondays, edit the dates. And as you can see here, as standard, I've got, they can book it anytime between 9 and 5 on a Tuesday, a Wednesday or a Friday. So we set our hours of when they can book it. We can also set whether you want 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after. So this is really good if you have client work, because then it will not allow them to book a time within 15 minutes of something that's already in your calendar. And that isn't just the things that Calendly has put in your calendar, but all of them. So if I had travel to an event, for example, it wouldn't book something 15 minutes into and around that time slot. It has invitee questions, and you can change these and add a new question. So this is when they book, they can add in some details for you. You could add them to share bits of information, ask them questions, those sorts of things. Workflows, this is a paid feature. So workflows is where what's going to happen from when they sign up, and you can set a number of emails or a number of texts and those sorts of things in workflows. So in workflows, we can say, let me create a new one. It gives you an option to basically drag and drop them in. So there's some here that you can choose from what they've got and use their workflow. And this then sets up the reminders that they're going to get, or the emails that they're going to get in order to, you know, you can save it 24 hours the event, save the email, and set it all up so that then the experience for the customer is what you want it to be. So let's go back into this one. You can set up your cancellation policy, confirmation page. I just use the standard confirmation page, but you can, if you're on a paid plan, add in your own confirmation page. And again, you can collect payments because I'm on the professional plan, so I can accept my payments by Stripe and tell them how much, and that means that people will then pay when they sign up. That is all then set up, and we can view it on a live page. And this is what your clients will see when they come to book. So then you can see, you can click on here and then you can choose a certain time. What this does mean in terms of Calendly is mine's set up to my Google account. So I need to make sure that in my Google account, I block out any times which are not available, and then it won't book things in on top of them. So I just need to make sure that I book everything in my calendar really. So as you can see, this will set up a Zoom link, so it's online. So I have integrated my Zoom link. So in integrations up here, there's all sorts of things that you can integrate with. One of them is Zoom. You could do Microsoft Teams if you prefer that. And if we click in here, you can connect your account, which then means that when somebody books, it will automatically create a Zoom link for that person to book. And then in your Zoom, you don't have to manually set up a Zoom for that call because it will do it for you. So that's quite good. And as I said about connected with calendars, if you go into the account, you have calendar connections, and here is where you would set up whichever calendar that you want. So as I said, mine's a Google, but you can configure that to check for conflicts and add the new event to the calendar. So what will happen then is whenever somebody signs up to this, it will then automatically add that to my calendar. I also have it set up where it will send me an email when somebody books, so that then I know that somebody's booked into my calendar. So now, how are we going to share this with people? How are we going to get people to use this link? You click share, and then you've got a few options with Calendly. You can share a link, so I could literally just copy this and share that, whether that be on social media, send it in a message to somebody. You can add times to email. So if you want to send somebody, you know, do you want this or that, I could select a few dates and time slots and then send that in an email. So it'd send them to that email and say which of these do you want, and they could choose which one out of the 7 that I've suggested. Up to 7, doesn't have to be 7. Or I can add it to my website, and there's a few ways that I could do that in terms of I could do a text pop-up or an embed. So on my website, I've kept it really simple. All I've done is use this link here and set that up as a button. So let me go to my website, in the back end of my website. I'm on the speaker page. So I use a WordPress website with an Elementor download. So that's how I edit things. So get in touch here. Say I wanted to change that. This at the minute is set to my contact URL. I could change this URL to that URL for my sign up page, and then they would literally just go through that. I'm not going to change it because obviously I don't want to add something to my website, but what I will do is I'll add a different button, so I'm not changing the one that I've already got. And then here in here I would just literally type in that link. Where is it? Here it is. So I would copy that. I'm just doing Control and C and Control and V on my keyboard to copy and paste. So I'd paste that in there, and then that button will now go to that Calendly page. You can also add it as a actual calendar. So if I wanted to do that, let me add in here. You do that through HTML coding. Don't worry, it is not scary. All you will do is you'll scroll and find your HTML coding. There it is, HTML. Drag that in. And then on Calendly, where it says add to website, inline embed. So we want the calendar actually embedded. Click continue, and it will give you a load of code, which is here, already done for you. You can change the text colour, you can change the button colour. So let's change this to a Build It Brilliant colour. Oops. There we go. Oops, that didn't save. There you go. And then copy and paste this text, and then go to the block and paste it in here. And that will then give you an inline, and people can literally pick the date and set it up on the website. So no extra steps for them to set it up with you. So that's quite cool as well. So I hope that that has given you a quick sort of review of Calendly, but also gone through the major features and the major how you'd set things up and how you do things, so you can then go on and get started. Thank you very much for joining me for this AMA video, and I will be back with another video next week.